Hey Timmy, how you doing, buddy?
Pretty good tonight here. We got us a live one here. A lot of things going on there, Sean.
Well, I'm just same old, same old, same old city of Cohoes, man. Some things never change, do they?
Yeah, well, today, first thing I was telling Gil Ethier, I said, Gil, you went into Babe's Cafe, and next thing you know, my inbox is getting flooded by all the spies saying Gil's in Babe's Cafe with Gillian McCarthy. I
well,
was telling Gil this, and he's laughing. I
well,
said, "Gil."
here's what we do know, right?
Yeah.
We know that on the last show, I told you that I would bet I would bet anybody and everybody that Billy McCarthy, being the little lapdog that he's been his whole career, his whole
Yep.
life, would never vote against Keeler's veto of the budget, right? So
Hmm.
basically, you would think, okay, if the lapdog votes against it, you still have five, and five would override the veto, and the city clerk would finally get her raise after 4 years, a lousy $1,000 compared to his daughter, who's got about
6,000.
15, yeah, about 15 or 20% since she's been there 4 years.
Actually, it's 25,000 is what she's gotten, Sean,
Uh,
since he became mayor.
yeah,
25 grand. She doubled her salary.
it's just it's just amazing. So, uh, you know, I really did. I thought that you would have enough people to override the veto, but I knew Billy McCarthy, being a lapdog, would never do it. And so I told everybody that I'd run in the Santa Claus race with my thong on backwards
Mhm.
if Billy voted for it. So if there's one good thing is I don't have to put my thong on and run in the Santa Claus race because the lapdog voted just like we thought he would. But I think what was surprising was once again Donnie Russell. I mean, the guy is just you can't count on him for anything. Um, Donnie Russell, who votes to lower the pay raise to 13,000, somehow mysteriously the night of the vote to override the veto is in the office with Billy McCarthy and this guy who calls himself the mayor of the city. I call him the Grinch of greed. Um, and then they come out all buddy buddies, and he abstains. Can you believe it?
Probably the first time he abstained since he's been in
He's a
office.
city councilman. The
Mhm.
only time you're supposed to abstain ever, is when there's a conflict of interest.
Mhm.
That's it. I don't even know if there's a legal definition of when you abstain and when you can't. I guess there's not because it's really just a cowardly act.
And when you abstain, it's neither a yes or a no, and that's how it's
Well,
defined. It's
yeah.
kind of like, you're not voting, but you
Well, the reality is
yeah,
okay. I'm going to abstain because it's my brother getting the contract,
yeah,
right? I'm going to abstain because it's my
for a
wife
reason.
getting right. There's a conflict or some kind of reason that you shouldn't vote, and that's why they created an abstention, right? That's why it's there. It's not because you're a coward. It's not
Yeah,
because you want to give your buddy a raise and you don't want to have the spine to make a decision on it. So
yeah.
they
So
just
we
said,
gave him the raise by through abstention.
so what happens is he ends up not getting a $13,000 raise. He gets a $21,000 raise. Lori Yondo, who's the city clerk, gets a big fat zero. 4 years. She's
Hmm.
under the same kind of term the mayor is. She can't take a raise in between. You have to give it to her in the term.
Hmm.
At least that's my understanding. I'll stand corrected. But I believe that's the case because she has a term that runs concurrent, and she's not a employee of the mayor. She's an employee of the city council. They pick and vote to put a clerk into a position.
That's
So
true.
so poor Lori, who's been there forever, back in the John McDonald days, she doesn't even get a freaking raise because Billy McCarthy,
Hmm.
and let me just bring up Billy McCarthy. Take a look. There's the lapdog. There's a guy who's not a man. There's a guy who can't look in the mirror and say, I'm a man. He's been a
Hmm.
lapdog since I've known him. If he wasn't lapping up John McDonald, he was lapping up the next one, right? I really believe, and I have to find this out, and I don't want to say it as fact because I can't remember, but when John McDonald was the mayor of the city, he had an early retirement incentive. It was like 20,000 if you would relieve because
Mhm.
the city was hurting under his policies, the same policies that Keeler's running right now. McDonald was hurting, and he was trying to figure out a way to, save money. I believe Billy McCarthy took the $20,000, and then 2 days later, John McDonald took it off the board, and nobody else could get it, and he was the only guy that got the 20 grand.
Mhm.
I mean, I'm almost positive. I don't know it factually. I don't want his name. I'm going to look into that though. But that's the lapdog. He's the
Yeah.
guy that sits on the lap of anybody in power, and they rub his head, and he does what he's told. He scratches with the back of his leg. He's not a man. And this
Yeah.
is the guy who's in charge of the city council.
Mhm.
It's
Now
terrible.
look at yeah, and what I wanted to say on this too, Shawn, is if we take it back to 2019, 2020, okay, what Keeler did is he, through his board of managers, put in a provision for a uh, commissioner of public safety, and the board of said we're going to pay him $70,000. And what did he do? He kept him on for just 6 months, paid him out of different little departments, moving money around, so that $70,000 salary never ended up for a commissioner. So who's the commissioner of public safety in the absence of having one appointed? Keeler.
Yeah.
So
So
the money that he's taken, 21 grand, would have been allotted for a commissioner. So to me, all he did is rob Peter to pay Paul. That's it.
listen, it's a story that everybody could write the ending. Everybody in
Yeah.
this city knew that Bill Keeler is a greedy creep. And I
Yes, he
said
is.
this before. I
Yeah.
said it to people before. I said, you know what? You think Sean Morris is the loud, big mouth, bullshitter. And I said, I'm the guy who's telling you straight on, brother. I ain't
Hmm.
lying to you. I'm not afraid to tell you. I said, the guy you got to watch out for is this clean cut trooper
Yeah.
because he's a liar. He's a manipulator, and he's the worst kind of politician in the world. You know what that is? It's the sneaky son of a bitch politician. That's what he is. He's a
Get
sneaky
DPW up
politician.
at the house.
He's political up to his eyeballs. He would have never became the head of the state troopers in the position he was if he wasn't given all of the political help because he wasn't a good cop. He was a shitty Cohoes cop. He used to hide in the car. I was a firefighter. He was afraid to get out of the car because he was a coward. So
Hmm.
he goes to the state troopers, and politics got him to those positions. He didn't get there on his own.
Hmm.
Politics got him there. So this guy knows politics better than anybody, but he's a sneaky bastard. And
Hmm.
when you look at him, he looks right through you, if he'll
Yeah.
even look at you.
Yeah.
Most people who are sneaky like him do exactly what he does. You ever see him walk? He looks
Yeah.
down at the ground. He don't
Walk
even
like a
look at people. He won't let you in his office. He don't talk to residents. He's got that police mentality. I'm too good for you. Go meet with somebody else and
Mhm.
they'll report back to me. He's a sneaky bastard who just took a $22,000 raise, took care of him, took care of his daughter. I believe the new judge is related to him. I believe the new code enforcement officer is related to him. And he said it was the Morris
God forbid.
friends and family. I never
Yeah.
hired one person from my family. This
God
guy's got 5 or 6 of them on the
you know,
payroll.
I know just looking at the numbers, looking at the budget, his daughter, okay, picks up another
Well,
$25,000.
she was making 40 something. They moved her up to 50. And
She
now she's up to 65. So yeah,
yeah,
20 grand over the course.
25,000 bucks.
Yeah.
Okay. Uh, uh, since he's been in office, that's a hell of a pay rate. That's
Well, 25,000 for
6,000
his kid, 25,000 for
a
him,
year.
25,000 for the cousin who's in the code
Yeah.
enforcement. Listen, if there's anything you've learned in this
Mhm.
process and through this show, okay, is I'm going to call a spade a spade. Timmy's going to call a spade a spade. And this guy is a creep. He's a coward and he's got no balls. He cares only about himself. And you just seen that. And you know
Well,
what? I'm so sick and tired of talking about him because
yeah.
he's here for 4 more years. The shitty is going to shit the bed. It's the city's going to shit the bed because of the shitty job he's doing. That's what I meant to say.
Well, look at now we got Don Russell to thank for setting up that nice precedent of abstaining on
Why
a
is Don
budget
Russell
vote.
abstaining?
You
Tell
know,
me, what is the gift that he's getting?
you
Is
know.
it that they didn't give him a code violation? What is the gift? Because there's nothing that I can think of that Don Russell could be getting to
He was
help.
Shawnee was coerced. He was brought into the mayor's office,
How
right?
can you be coerced though? He's leaving.
Right.
He's not even going to be
So
there next
what
year.
are they holding over him?
Well, they either got pictures or they got something because the guy just walks in after voting to take the $20,000 raise, knock it down to 13, and then the son of a bitch abstains. That's the
Yeah,
most cowardly thing you can do in politics
yeah,
if you don't have a conflict of interest. In fact,
yeah.
when I was in the county government, when you abstained, you had to fill out a piece of paper telling people why you abstained.
Hmm.
That was part of our rules so
Hmm.
that you just couldn't play these political games like Donnie Russell did.
Hmm.
But the one you got to blame really is Billy McCarthy.
Yeah, true.
Not
He's
only
runs
does
the
Billy
council.
McCarthy vote to screw over the clerk and take away her little raise to give his owner because he's the lapdog
Yeah,
of Keeler um, a huge raise. He screws this girl over, but more importantly, they don't even know how to run a meeting.
that's true.
They
It
don't know
wasn't even
anything.
done. Oh, it violated open meetings law. Now, Sean, someone sent me a message saying, "Look, they're afraid to ask on Facebook itself how they violated the law." Well, look, you and I both know this. Okay, there's no consequences if they violate the law because of the
Correct.
process is so
Yeah.
cumbersome. Okay, and they know this, and
Correct.
Kramer knows this. All right, basically. You're supposed to have what they say in it is 1 week notice, but in reality, it's sort of like 72 hours notice. And they're supposed to just let people know what their government is doing. Well, in this case, it was just barely 24 hours, just barely past 24 hours, that these guys get notice that hey, there's a meeting and there's an agenda of all this stuff. All right. So what happens? Okay, the meeting really violated open meetings law, and the only way to resolve the problem is just how we discussed off air. It's you got to file an Article 78 with the state Supreme Court.
The
And
worst
what
thing that
did the
happens
judge
when
do?
the worst thing that happens when you screw up these
Yeah,
open meeting laws is they tell you not to do it again. They don't change the outcome. The
right.
reality is government is not going to overthrow government, right?
Yeah,
They're all corrupt.
yeah,
Okay. The bottom
exactly.
line is this city does not want people to know what's going on. So they don't post the meetings 3 days in advance. But you know how you fix that? You
Mm.
have Adam Biggs put a resolution in and say, as part of our rules, the legislative rules, because they have a
Yeah,
right to make their own
they
rules.
make their own rules as a
As part
council.
of their rules, it should say that you need to provide the agenda 3 days before the meeting and it must be posted on their website 3 days before the meeting.
Because
And then
they said
everybody would know
as a
because
council. True.
because they don't do that because they don't want you to know.
Right.
Billy Keeler wants to control everything, including what you know and what you don't know.
And
And
remember,
his
Sean,
lapdog, Billy
right,
McCarthy,
right.
the two Billy Bobs, Billy McCarthy just goes along with it because Billy's not even smart enough to figure out how to run a meeting. He's been there 8 years
Yeah,
and he doesn't know how to run a meeting.
he doesn't
And
have
he's the
the
president
ability to run that meeting right.
because he doesn't know what he's doing.
No, he doesn't.
And for the people that don't know who Brian Kremer is, Brian Kremer doesn't live in Cohoes. He was John McDonald's puppet. He was brought in as corp counsel, makes about $90,000 a year, free health care the rest of his life, all of the benefits. I don't believe he's there working full time. He wasn't working full time when I was there. And the fact is, I fired him
Hmm.
because he was going behind my back with Chris Briggs.
Yeah.
And I told you before, the sneaky, no sneaky. Chris Briggs is one of the most sneakiest bastards you'll ever meet.
And look at and Kramer too. Okay, he knew this. They were violating the open meetings
He
law,
doesn't care
and that's it. And he didn't
because
say otherwise.
he's making $80,000, $90,000 a year to work about 3 hours a week,
Yeah,
okay, and get
yeah.
full time benefits and full time everything.
And he
The
does it
guy,
out
the
of his
guy
office
runs
in
the
Albany.
city. That
Down,
guy runs the city. He's not elected. He's a bureaucrat. He doesn't live in Cohoes, and he runs the city.
he does, and
I know
people,
he
you need to
does.
know that.
When I fired him, I said, "You're done."
Hmm.
And you know what happened? I went upstairs to have a conversation with him, and Chris Briggs was sneaking in with a bottle of whiskey.
Oh,
Thank you for fucking Shawn Morris over and doing all the things that I wanted
yeah,
you to do. And here's your bottle of whiskey. And then I had a big fight with Chris Briggs because he's a slob.
yeah.
He don't even tuck his shirt in. He walks in there, bottle of whiskey. He doesn't give a shit about nobody
Hmm.
except him and his wife.
He's a
right?
rat.
Making sure she gets as much as she could squeeze out of the school board, and he could squeeze as much out of the
Well,
taxpayer.
he's responsible for raising taxes in the people of Cohoes, not only on the school board, but as a city council member. I don't think any one man has done it longer than him.
Yeah, yeah,
Where am
he's
I
not.
wrong on that?
He's another
And he's
snake.
always working behind somebody else's back.
Well,
He did it
yeah,
against Randy down there in the Sixth Ward with the Kelman project and all
he's
that.
always trying to think he's smarter than everybody else, but you know what he is?
He's
He's
stupid.
not so smart. He may
He's
be
not.
smart making money. They live in a big house. His wife's a
Yeah.
school teacher. They're probably pulling in a couple $100,000 a year. But when it comes to politics and trying to do the right thing and maneuver things and move
Yeah.
pieces around, he's as dumb as they come.
He hasn't got an ounce of integrity.
He's the
Or
one who raised taxes for Keeler, though. Keeler
yeah,
told him
yeah,
to raise
yeah,
taxes. He's the one who put Keeler's daughter in the position. He's
yes,
the
he
one who
did.
gave a $5,000 raise. Like we're stupid, right?
Yeah,
We're
yeah.
stupid.
So,
It
and
was.
he
It
said that's
wasn't
what the
Keeler. It
mayor
was.
wants.
It was
Right.
big. Yeah, Keeler did it.
Hmm.
Chris Briggs did what he told, like he always does,
Hmm.
like he did in the school board.
Yeah,
Everybody, he was there. He's a wasted space, you
yeah.
know.
Hmm.
So hey, listen, it's over. It's done with. Keeler's there for 4 more years. He's making $99,000 a year. His daughter's making 65. His some other relatives, the judge, making 90. Some other relatives in code enforcement. You know,
Yeah,
his kids are in school districts. I mean, life is good for the Keeler family. How's life for you? How's life for the rest of you in Cohoes?
yeah. Okay, and look at the while we're at it, okay, there's scuttlebutt going around about once again our friend down there in the island, Claudia Callender, who's trying to copy me with her sixth ward page. Look at here's the bottom line, okay, on Tom Fife. He's already been invited by the Democratic Party Gil Ethier to the Cohoes Music Hall to be sworn in on January 1st as councilman for the Sixth Ward. And all this scuttlebutt about, oh, he can't serve. He's got, he's holding multiple offices, and he's got this job is all a bunch of hogwash.
Who gives a shit what Claudia, whatever her name
Right,
is, says? She's a
calendar.
moron. I think she
Yeah,
owns like 600 cats. She should be down there petting her cats and
yeah,
feeding her cats and staying out of everybody else's business because she doesn't know what she's talking about. Tom
yeah,
Fife was elected by the people. He
yes,
will sit in that seat and represent the Sixth Ward. And I don't care if Keeler and McCarthy and all the rest of them want to decide that they're going to try to get rid of him because they think they have a right to pick the candidates for the people. That's
yeah,
the kind of people they are. That's the sneaky bastards I'm trying to
yeah.
say. Billy Keeler is such a hot shot in his own mind that he thinks he has a right to pick who
Overturn the
should,
voting.
yeah, who should represent you in the
Right,
Sixth Ward because you
right.
know he's the big state trooper.
Yeah. It's not
Okay,
going to
with the big
happen there.
$1,000 raise now. I mean, the
Right,
bottom
it's
line
not
is
gonna
Tommy
happen,
Frank.
Billy. It's not gonna happen, Gil is a big union guy too. Fife is a union guy. He
Billy
knows.
McCarthy can't tie his shoe. How's he going to
Yeah,
come up with some kind of great idea to get rid of Tommy Fife? It
he
ain't
can't.
happening.
It ain't
Tommy Fife
happening.
is one. He's going to be not a thorn in their side. He's going to be an advocate for the people.
That's it.
That's it. I told them a long time ago. If
Yeah,
you go against the fray, you're going to have to fight the fight because they're going to come after you like they did to Billy Smith and Shawn Morris and Mike Connors and the list of names go on
yeah.
and on.
Marty Liberty and on and
Yeah, they
on
will
and
just
on.
try
Yeah,
to kill you. You know how many people they tried to do what they did to me,
yeah,
but everybody else quit. And I said, I'm not quitting.
yeah,
They had every agency knock on my door. They ruined my life. I
yeah,
didn't give a shit. I'm still standing today,
yeah.
right? But
I'm
the bottom
surprised.
line is they went after a lot of people like that.
Yeah,
We're indicting you. We're doing this. All you got to do is make something up about somebody. And all these
yeah,
nitwits on Facebook and everybody else, they believe everything they hear and read.
yeah. Well, look at I posted Kramer's photo. He's been managing to stay hiding forever. I got his photo today. I put it on up and I called him what he is.
Well,
Okay, he's a snake.
at the end of the
Okay, and
day,
he misses he doesn't inform the council members properly. Okay, he knows when things are not being done right, and he sits there on his hands and oh, I only answer to the mayor. No, you don't. Okay, new council member, you're coming in. Don't believe a damn word that this Kremer is telling you.
the bottom
Okay,
line is, I'm sorry, I'm trying to fix my wire. My computer's down on
yeah,
20%. I got to buy a new computer because the more we do these podcasts, this is a brand new computer, Timmy. It just won't stay charged. But hey, Keeler is got a guy right by his side named Kremer. Keeler Kremer. Kremer runs the city. He always has. He tells everybody what to do. He fucks all of the workers. He's screwing all of the DPW workers. He's
Yeah.
screwing all. There's more people being suspended,
And
I
fined
never seen nothing
and
like it in
then
my life.
right, and more people getting away with wrongful things like Russell, and there's no accountability, and it boils down to, we got Kremer,
Yeah.
you know, council member, new guys coming in. I wish there was a way for you guys to go and get an opinion other than his, because he's
Well, unfortunately, I think me and you have to. I try to explain this to you. You can
yeah,
disagree with me all you want. He is the attorney for the city. His
yeah, he
say
is.
is the final say. So wasting 30,000 for a council to hire an attorney that at the end of the day his opinion means shit is a
Yeah,
waste
well,
of city
here's
taxpayer
right.
money. The way you
Here's my
handle it is this:
yeah,
you say to the council stays united and says we're going to cut Mr. Kremer's salary down to $5 if he keeps up his bullshit.
yeah, and that's what you do. And
That's
that's
how
my
you do
point.
it.
Okay. There are other things that, and look at, if I was sitting in a council meeting as a council member and he goes, all right, I'm not sure. I've said, this meeting's unlawful and you know it is. And I want it on the record. Now, you know what? As we talked earlier about, there's no consequences. Okay. They could do this and get away with it because they don't have any moral integrity to do the right thing. And I'm hoping the new guys come in and they say, no, 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 we're not going to operate this way anymore. Okay. Sean, we got some stuff going on down in Albany. I heard we want to talk about, huh?
Yeah, I just want to pop up. I seen Sean Van's lead. He says Killer is most likely holding building permits
Oh,
from
fine
Donnie
permit.
Russell.
Yeah, yeah,
And then Tedster said, well, he should care as he is a member of the freaking New York State Bar. He doesn't care.
yeah,
The only bar he cares about is the one he's having a beer in.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean? And I don't know. I don't know if Be Ready's, I have no idea. The mayor has connections with the ambulance company. Who the
yeah.
hell knows? Yeah,
And and Sean Van Sweet's right, okay, and me too, Sean. Uh, in January, I'm going to get a measly 3.2% Social Security raise. Okay, that's my increase. I get 3.2, and I got to sustain our family on that small amount. Now I sit back. What Keeler just got in a raise by this council is more than what I get for the whole year for Social Security.
Yeah, it's amazing. Hey,
It's
Timmy, let me just
yep.
before we go any further and talk about that Albany thing, I just want to jump over and say to people, listen, please subscribe to our channel. It's really easy. Just go to the YouTube channel, subscribe, hit the button, help us grow. The more we grow, the more opportunities we have to bring more shows to the people, expand our shows, get some advertisement, get some sponsors. We'd really appreciate that. We're growing pretty good. I mean, it's not as easy to get people to subscribe to your channel like it is on Facebook, right? I
Mhm.
mean, but just so you know, 25,000 views, 25,000 people are watching our show. That's amazing, right? We went from
It's pretty good.
a 50, 60 people to over 25,000 people watching the show. Sometimes it's up to 30,000 people watching the show. So it's really cool. And I hope you like it because we're just trying to bring you the truth. I just want to jump over to Albany because this is going to be a short show and I just wanted to talk about this stuff, right? So listen, we're looking at a world that is full of crime. The freaking city of Albany is right now at about 18 homicides. It's almost the highest it's ever had ever. It's about to break records. It is terrible. The amount of assaults and rapes. It is one of the most dangerous places to live. I don't even want to go down there. I
Mhm.
don't want my kids ever go down there. It's a shithole. You got a mayor who's a clown. She really is. The red hair that she
Kathy
has is
Chan.
a symbol of how much of a clown she really is because she has ruined that city. But the city council, you think ours is bad? Theirs is just as bad because why murders are at the highest level they've ever been. You know what they're trying to do, Tim? They're trying
Yeah,
to pass a resolution to change the flag of Albany and remove the Indians.
the Indian symbol. That's
They want
funny.
to move the people are getting shot and raped and murdered every day in Albany. And
Yes,
they have a council member that cares about changing the flag because it has a freaking Indian.
right. Because
That's the problem.
they're trying to be politically correct.
That's the
It's
problem with
okay to
this one.
go downtown Albany and get shot.
That's the problem. The problem with this world is that these people are running our communities throughout the whole country, right? Don't
Yeah.
worry about the murders. Let's worry about the Indian. Don't worry about me taking a $20,000 raise. If you don't like it, move out of our city. It's a
Yeah.
disgrace. It's terrible. And that's what we have to deal with. But hey, Timmy, it was good to see you.
Yep. We got a short podcast tonight.
Yeah, because my computer's going to die anyway.
It's
I
going
got
to
to go.
die. I just wanted to say there was one comment there by a person named B. Reddy. The mayor has connections with that ambulance
Yeah, I read
company.
that, Timmy. I don't know if that's true. I said
I don't
I
know
don't
whether
know.
it's true. I thought I just would mention that, we hear you on out there. We can't verify it or confirm it, but it is what it is right now. So look at, gotta let everybody go. Thanks for tuning in. Say subscribe to the channel.
Take care.
Okay.